let's talk about step number one, which is if you're brand new into this, you've got to get your company information into the app, because we don't propagate it with your company. A lot of times we don't know that information, right? We don't know what the name of your company is, what your phone number is for your company, things like that. So what you want to do, step number one, is go under this tab up here at the top, if you can see my screen, and click on Customize Site. So you want to click on Customize Site, because this is where you're going to save like your information, which the app is going to draw on when it creates your letters and your documents and things like that. So you got to go in here first. The very first tab is your company information tab, and you want to put in your phone number that people are going to call when they get your letter. So the first thing you're going to do in Jack's program is send out letters to owners. And in that letter, it's going to say something like, hey, if you're interested in selling your property to me, give me a call. You want to put in the phone number that you want people to call here. Okay, this could be a 1-800 number. It could be a local number. What we do suggest, it really doesn't matter if it's a 1-800 number or a local number. We've tested both of it. I don't think there's that big of a difference. But the thing that you definitely want to make sure is that you're not using your personal number. You want to use some kind of a company number, or at least a go-between number, like a Google Voice number. Some people use these apps like Call'em. I think there's one called Call Me. There's Google Voice, like I said. There's Vumber numbers. There's what we use ourselves is Ring Central, and that's another cheap solution for a phone system, which gives you a separate number for your company, and it can always forward to your cell phone. So don't be worried about having to check multiple phones. What I'm talking about here is just making a company number so that your personal number is nowhere out there in the universe, and then when people call that company number, it gets forwarded to your personal number. And so check into those services. Jack mentions those quite a bit in the course, so I'm not going to go into that. But Ring Central is what we use. We also have used grasshopper.com in the past, and that also works. There's some limitations around that, and so that's why we use ringcentral.com now for our phone stuff. The other thing that you want to do is put in your email address. Now, this email address is just something that you need to or will be able to check. So it doesn't even need to be like a email address that people are going to see, because you have a Contact Us page as part of your websites. So like if you go to your buying site, for example, you have a Contact Us page. You can see here that nowhere is your email address displayed. But if somebody sends a message to this, it will get put into the system, and you will get an email notification off of that. And that email notification goes to this email address that's configured here. Okay, so you want to make sure that you do that. Like I said, it doesn't have to be like your company email address. It could be a personal one, because it's not ever shared publicly. Now, the other thing is your company name. Now, I always get questions like, what if you don't have a company? What do I do? Should I leave it blank if I don't have a company? Should I have a company? And Jack answers this question at his live events as well, and I think in the course. But he always tells a story that he started out with no company and just doing deals under his name. But that question of starting with a company like an LLC and things like that should be really directed to your attorney to see how much risk you're taking on, and if that should be protected, things like that. Now, if you have a company that you're buying this real estate in, you would put that company in there. You can also put just a DBA, like some kind of a registered business name, or even if it's not registered, you could use your buying site domain. Like let's say that you own iBuyLand.com or something like that. Then you could have your company name be iBuyLand. It is going to show up on your letters, so keep that in mind. That's going to show up in your letters. And the same thing with your company address, city, state. You don't want your personal home address here, because then people have your home address. They might show up on your doorstep, maybe, possibly. I think that's happened to Jack one time. You want to use, at the very least, a PO box or a sweep box. We don't really recommend the PO box, but we do, a lot of students and we even use a sweep box or a virtual office. So there's many out there. There's UPS stores, things like that, that you can get a sweep box on. Again, you pick up your mail there or they forward it to you, but the point of it is it's not your personal address. So save that information there. The realtor information right here, this is actually not usually used. This is only used if you are buying properties with the help of a realtor. And for the most part, obviously we don't buy properties through a realtor, we buy them directly, and most of our students don't either. There's a few students that do, so that's why we have these fields. But if you're not working with a realtor on the acquisition side, meaning when you actually purchase the properties from these owners, then just leave these blank. Now we've got the company notes. These company notes right here, whatever you put here is actually going to be displayed on your website under the Contact Us page, and you can see it right here. So it's going to be displayed here. So you could put information there, you could put a map link, whatever you want. It's going to be displayed on your Contact Us page. If you don't want anything there, you just leave it blank. Now this one right here, real estate agent broker disclosure. This is important if you yourself are a agent or a broker. What this is going to do is it's going to add some terminology to the footer of your websites. It's also going to add some disclosures to your sale agreement, and I believe that the cover letter as well of the agreement, or sorry, the neutral letter. It will also add a little disclosure that you are basically an agent buying on your behalf. I don't remember the exact terminology, but it's something that we used ourselves because we used to be a brokerage ourselves. Jack's company. And it was all approved by at least the Arizona board. So that's what it's going to put on there. It's going to, like I said, most states have relatively the same laws in regards to realtors, which is that they have to disclose that they're a realtor or a broker. And they're doing investments on their behalf. So that's what that does. If you're not a realtor or a broker, then don't worry about it. So this has to do with you yourself or whoever's buying the properties. Are you a realtor or a broker yourself? Yes or no? All right. So that's the overall things that you need to worry about in the beginning is just saving this information here. And let me make a note here is that at any time you can go over here and change this information. So let's say that a year from now, you move your offices. You can just come back in here and change your company address, and it'll update all of your website, update all of your documents and things like that. So that's the cool thing about saving it in one central place is that you can update it very easily if you need to. And then when you're done filling out this information, you're going to always hit the blue button. Usually our action buttons in the software are blue, and it just says update site, and this will save the information for your site, and you'll get a little message like this: site has been updated. Okay, so for you guys that are brand new, that's the step number one. Go in here and customize your go to customize site, fill out the company information like we just went over, and save that information at the bottom. The next part of that is under your profile. You want to you should have your name filled out and your email address filled out, and your phone number already when you sign up. But one thing that's not going to be set is your time zone that you are currently located in. So you want to set that, and also your signature file. And for the signature file, you do need to create a digital signature. There is a user guide article about that. So again, if I go to help user guide, takes me to the user guide, and I type in signature, and there is how to create and upload your signature file. This video right here, I show you exactly how to create a signature file and save it. So you'll want to go through that. I don't want to cover it here because there's this video that you can watch, and there's other people on the call that have already gone through that step already. So unless you have a specific question on the Q&A portion about that, I'm just going to point you over to this user guide article with this video that covers that in detail. All right, so going back to where, your profile. So under my profile, again, set your time zone, set your signature file based on that user guide article, and then click update to save that information. And that's it. I mean, in a matter of, should only take you, if you have all your company information, it should only take you less than 5 minutes to do this step 1 part.